Back at the McLean Barbershop, Talk of the Town 918. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Talk of the Town 918 edition. Got a special guest, my boy Kejuan Jones. Kind of grew up with Kewan, been knowing each other for a very, very, very long time. One of the, we're going to say it, probably the best middle school player, high school player that I ever seen. And we got, there's some names in there we could toss up, but we got to put Kewan in there. Appreciate you, Kewan.
I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we've been knowing you for a long time. Park Chase, probably before that.
Yep.
Whitney Bears days. Take the people through your journey, though. Like, when did you start playing football? Who'd you play with and stuff like that as a young kid?
Yeah, I started, it's kind of crazy how I started playing. I started from, like I said, I was at Whitney, you know what I mean? And we was just playing rugby out there, PE. And one of my classmates brought his dad to practice, who was their coach. And he was like, hey, man, we need this cat on the team.
And what grade was you in, sixth grade?
Sixth grade.
Okay.
Oh, so you started playing late.
Yeah, I started playing late because, I grew up with single mom, so we couldn't afford it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy that happened because I had just talked to my mom before that. I was like, I want to play football this year. And she was like, I can't afford it, And, they came out, and, the rest is history. We went to football practice, middle school, and told them boys up at practice, and everything else after that, we told everybody else, undefeated 3 years in a row in middle school.
For sure. So your middle school career, because when you was in seventh, we was in sixth, we was at Bird, so like you was always a year older than us. So our eighth grade year, your ninth grade year, you went to Nathan Hale High School.
Yep.
And I think y'all had it was you, David Williams,
Rashad Moore,
running back.
Yep.
But everybody
and
was
we had another cat named Batman. He was actually the starter.
Oh,
at the
okay.
time.
Yeah,
He was a
4.
senior. Yep, 4.
And you was the fourth?
Yep, I was actually, I was the 4th string tailback going in.
So we already knew how special you were, but everybody was talking about the freshmen. When did they pull you up on varsity? Did you ever play freshman ball?
Oh, I never played freshman ball. But in Tulsa Public, they got the All City.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we played in the All City. Our first game was against Webster. Back in '97, and I was 4th string tailback to go in the game. It was tied 0-0. I go in the game. I broke it 35 yards first carry. You know what I'm saying? Ball game.
Okay.
Ever since then, I didn't get to start right off the bat, but I was in that rotation after that.
Got you. Okay, got you. So I think your freshman year I played Jenks, right?
It was my sophomore year.
Yeah. Okay.
What? Okay.
See,
it was at East Central, right?
Yep, East Central.
Okay, I remember that game. Rashad Moore, I think Rashad Moore went first. He did a little something. David Williams went second, and then you went third, I think.
Yeah, I was like second or third string running back coming in that game too, and I broke loose. I think that's what. Besides, me playing as a freshman, but that play against Jenks, I think that set the tone for everybody know that there's a new cat in town.
Yeah. So do you feel like you was the best player on the field when y'all played Jenks?
Oh yeah.
Hands down.
I mean, my mindset, man. I mean, this is not being conceited, but I feel like
talk your shit a little bit.
I was the best player as a freshman. Me and Connor. It's kind of funny. As I had a conversation with one of my old coaches, and kind of asked him, why didn't you just give me the rock as a freshman, knowing that I was the best one?
You was cocky then.
I was a little cocky, what I'm saying? But everybody knows, you got to be that way if you want to be the man. You know what I'm saying? So, I've always thought I was the best, definitely being in high school and coming from middle school to where I came from.
So I'm going to go back a little bit. Your freshman year, y'all was special, though. Y'all had what? Thomas Hill.
Yeah, we had Thomas.
Bokamp.
Yep, Thomas Hill was our starting tight end. We had another tight end, Jason Collier. Jason went to TU. Thomas went to K-State.
Right.
You know, it's like I said, Bokamp. You know, so yeah, we had a solid line that year. Had a couple cats. Petey Tillman. You know, he ended up going to NEO, linebacker, fullback. One of my brothers, Big Calvin Wilson, was on the D line. You know, at the time. So rest in peace to him. You know, but yeah, we had a solid squad. We had some D1 players on this squad.
Yeah.
Okay, so your freshman year, you do great. Your sophomore year, you still at Nathan Hale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got it wrong. I thought you left and went to Jenks your freshman year.
No.
It's your sophomore year.
Yeah.
What made you move? Because we was living in the same little area, and all of a sudden you was gone. So why did you go? What made you go to Jenks?
Well, I mean, like I say, it ain't. I mean,
This
I
is
think.
$1 million question.
Yeah,
for everybody.
right.
Don't hold no punches either.
It's like, I mean, if you paid attention at that time, at Nathan Hale, we were my freshman year, we were junior and senior strong. You know what I'm saying? So I knew, definitely after my freshman year, I knew I had to have a big sophomore year. Right. And like I say, why I would say that is that we played Jenks, at East Central, and we went up on Jenks big first half. And I broke an 80-yard touchdown run and outran Jason Bex from the D1 prospect going in that game. Yeah. So that's why everybody was like, okay, this is it. But I knew my junior year for Nathan Hale, I knew we wasn't gonna really be what it would take for me to, as a team wise, to go win a state championship.
Right, I got you.
And I also knew my mentality, what I was
looking for
at Nathan Hale, I wasn't gonna be able to have that. So I knew it was a move we was gonna have to make.
Regardless.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So and I knew I wanted to go D1. And I knew I didn't want to, people. When I say JUCO, people think that when I say JUCO, I'm clowning.
No, I know exactly.
But JUCO, like I was saying, JUCO is a hard route. But I also knew that somebody like me from Tulsa going to JUCO wasn't gonna happen.
You lose focus.
You lose focus, lose all that.
that.
So I knew I had to get out of Nathan Hale and go somewhere that was gonna get me to Division I football.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I left. It was about me. It had nothing to do with Jenks, nothing to do with Union or none of these other schools. It was about me wanting to get out and do better for myself and for my family.
Kejuan Jones.
Yes, sir.
So when you go to Jenks, what was the biggest difference for you? Like the first couple of weeks, or was it coming from Nathan Hale going to Jenks, where they already a powerhouse before you even got there?
I say the workouts. When I got to Jenks, man, we're working out like we're a Division I, Division II college program. And just the community and all those guys were about football. Football and going to school.
Right.
And so once I figured that out, that put me over the top. So that was one of the biggest even culture changes too for me. Is because having, after you get done running sprints after sprints after sprints, and then you got frozen grapes and frozen grapes and oranges and Gatorade, all that to eat. So what I'm saying. So that goes a long ways. That taking care of your body, and things like that. So when I got there and saw that just upped my play even more. So and definitely with the players that we had already there.
So who were some of the players? So when you got there, so you left in January or you left after school in May?
After school in May.
So who was like some of the top players that was on your squad?
At Jenks or at
Jenks.
Jenks?
I know Bobby Klink.
Yeah, Bobby Klink. He, that's what people fail to realize.
He was tough.
Bobby Klink was one of the best, probably the best running back in the league. Besides myself.
Honestly, shout out to Bobby Klink. I never seen him get tackled in high school.
It seemed like
Bobby was cold.
Yeah, he was.
And I was very surprised he didn't go to college to be a running back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I played with me and Bobby. We both came out the same year. So every day at practice, it's a battle. And that's what I think that a lot of kids are missing these days is they don't know how to compete and still be friends. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of jealousy going on right now.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And I think Bobby can be the first one to tell you the same thing is that, I always was definitely wanting to do him in practice, but he was the same way. But it was a mutual respect. You know what I'm saying? And and we knew that as good as I am, as good as he's going to be. So we're gonna get there together. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made those Jenks teams so great, because everybody knew their role and nobody was jealous of each other.
Right. Gotcha. So when you got on campus, so let's just say workouts to start in June or whatever, how was you welcomed by the team?
Oh, I was welcome. You know,
they already knew who you was.
I mean, they knew. Yeah, they. You know, everybody was kind of talking about what I did to them. You know, at East Central, at the East Central complex or whatever. So they knew the type of player, you know, that I was. But I think a lot of it, they just wanted to see what type of person I was going to be. You know, and obviously, you know, my kid, you know, 16-year-old kid, you know, coming from the hood that I come from and going to an all, you know, majority white school, it was a, you know, culture shock for me. But I also had to learn, you know, myself on adapting and adjusting, you know, to other people. So it was a warm welcome, though. You know, I couldn't say I had I had any bad experiences at Jenks, man.
So going into your junior year, your first official game at Jenks, did you start or did Bobby start? And explain to us, how did your junior season go? Which you coming from Hale your freshman and sophomore year, you still splitting carries, and then you transfer to Jenks and you really still splitting carries.
See, I think I actually started.
Okay.
You know, because that's the one thing that I tell a lot of people about Coach Trimble, that a lot of people that I think it's just different. Coach Trimble knew if he had somebody, I'm finna give it to him. You know what I'm saying? And
like I hold you back
right. You know what I'm saying? And that goes the same thing with Bobby. And he found ways to give all those guys, all of us, you know, a play. Because I don't know if you guys remember another guy, Luke Turner. He was our fullback.
Okay.
Fullback. And he could run it like a tailback. You know what I'm saying? But we found ways to get those guys the ball. So, but you know, I think I did. I think I was a starting tailback all my time at Jenks.
So did y'all win the state championship your junior year?
We won. It's funny is we lost to Union third game of the season in overtime, and came back and beat them. That game and the championship game was the biggest sellout game in Oklahoma high school history.
At TU?
Yeah, at TU. We had over 45,000 people there.
And you coming from where we come from, seeing them people, you like.
I go from maybe 200 people in the stands to 45,000 people, man.
How was it coming out the locker room, looking up like?
Oh, it was. Put it this way, I had to control my emotions. You know what I'm saying? I was the first time I can honestly say, you know, that Union game, going to the Union game when we played Union, my junior year, we played them at Union. So, you know, it was 15,000 people there.
Yeah.
You know, I threw up before the game. you know, I threw up before the game. I think I actually threw up on the field too that night.
Yeah, I got
you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of, you know, going from like say 500 to 1,000 people to playing in front of 45,000 to college crowds. You know what I'm saying? It was big.
So everybody. So at this game, your senior year, we're actually sitting in the end zone. Let's talk about that game.
Year 2000. Year 2000.
2000. 2001? 2000.
No, it was 2000.
2000. You graduated 2001.
Right.
You lighten them up. And everybody, you know what I mean? The world.
But it was actually like 10-7, or it was something going into halftime. It wasn't a half.
Yeah, it was a low-scoring game at halftime, you know. And it was crazy, man. It was that night, you know, it just seemed like it was a night to be special. You know, just both buses pulling in, you know, to the, you know,
stadium,
getting police escorts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The news there, you know, as we walking in and stuff like that. So, you know, it was a special moment for Tulsa and just for Jenks and Union at that time, man. And, you know, I'm just proud to be a part of it, to tell you the truth, man, because, you know, to be able to sit here and, you know, and talk about it, and definitely, you know, my kids and my wife, you know, to know that, you know, their dad was able to do something like that, and people still talk about it, you know, it's a special moment.
So take us through the last play in the huddle.
How many seconds was on the clock?
That's crazy. That's another thing that, man, you know, coming from Nathan Hale, everybody knows that Nathan Hale is on 21st Street, you know, 21st and Sheridan. Well, that was my football. When I went to Jenks, that's the number I went to. I was 44 at Nathan Hale, transferred to 21 at Jenks. Okay, 21 seconds on the clock.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
So what was the play called in the huddle, though? Was it supposed to go to you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was from the get-go. I mean, you know, they get the kickoff was, you know, to back that up, you know, at Nathan Hale, my quarterback was Bo Kemp.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I believe it was Bo Kemp, my boy Ryan, and a couple more fellas. from Nathan Hale. Some of my boys, they was in the end zone.
In the end zone, they
in the end zone.
Bo Kemp went crazy.
Yeah, he hollered at me. He was like, he pointed up at the clock. You know what time it is. So I knew what time it was. You know what I'm saying? And jogging off to the sideline because they kicked it out of the end zone. Scott McCoy, Trimble, and our offensive coordinator came up to me. It's going to you. It's going to you. And I was like, let's go. I knew what time it was. I'm not saying that I knew I was going to break that, but I knew we wasn't finna lose that game.
I got you.
We drawed up, went 4 wide, and, they strong safety played off me, and just a little bend route, bend route across the middle, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying?
So after you get in the end zone, what's the emotions like? Like, what's going through your head?
Man, I'm like, I can't believe I just, I threw my hands up. My boy Jason Carter, and Blaine Cooper, all, tackle me, Jesse, all them, everybody tackled me to the ground, and I just, at that time I'm tired and in disbelief myself. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I was happy. I was happy is that, what's funny is that I always remember. After that is the cheerleaders and the police officers, and they're just like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? And I just remember that, ever since then, I just always remember those moments.
For sure. It's a special moment.
Yeah.
Special moment.
So your senior year, when did you start getting offers? Like, when did you start getting offers? And like, did you have a top 5 or top 3 or whatever?
Well, I actually got offered from OU. I say. First day I stepped on campus.
At Jenks?
Yeah, at Jenks.
Oh,
Yeah. Mike Stoops was there basically the first day and, offered me my junior year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so, and that's what's crazy, you say my top 5, is that I had a top 5, but I think everybody in Tulsa and everybody, and even OU, I think everybody knew I was going to OU.
So when you got that offer from Mike, you already had
I'm going.
You didn't.
I didn't take no visits to nowhere, but what's crazy is at the last week before signing day, Coach Trimble hits me up and was like, "Hey, Coach Farmer's on the phone."
At Tennessee.
Yeah. And he was like, "I think you need to take that call." And he was like, I was like, "All right." So I talked to him, and I almost changed. I almost changed because Coach Trimble thought that. Honestly, he thought that would be a better fit for me. Because of the way they ran the ball. Because obviously OU was still passing the ball at that time and everything. But I don't think a lot of people know that. But like 2 weeks before, Coach Farmer called Coach Trimble.
So you thought about it?
I did think about it, but my heart was at OU.
You wanted to stay close to home.
Yeah.
Mom, everybody come there and all that. Okay. So now we at OU. That first summer you get there, that first practice, everybody know. Was Schmitty?
Oh, yes.
Schmitty. Yeah. Everybody always talking about Schmitty this, Schmitty that. How was your first time? And I'm sure you was prepared coming from Jenks just a little bit or whatever. But how was it transforming from Jenks High School to OU High School, that first workout?
Oh, it was 360-degree turnaround. It's completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we worked our butts off at Jenks, but Smitty, he made me the man I am today, put it that way.
Gotcha.
I mean, and I think my son and my kids, even my girls, they're witnessing it, and it's just self-explanatory. And I think anybody who's been on the Smitty will tell you that, because it's all about work, man. If you ain't putting in the work, you can't expect to get the end result that everybody wants.
Exactly.
So, and that's one thing that I learned there is you thought you was working in high school with those boys. This is a different level, And like I said, I think that definitely prepared me for life and and beyond.
It's easy for people to say you too hard on your kid, man. You don't know what I've been through, what I came from, what I learned,
right?
How to be great at the next level, and I'm gonna instill this in my kids,
right? Because I mean, just like you say, there's thousands of high school kids. There's thousands of college kids. What are you going to do to separate yourself? You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that coaches in college are still telling these kids today. Everybody's getting NIL deals, getting D1 scholarships, but what are you going to do to separate yourself for when you get there? What a lot of people don't know, when I got to OU, I was battling against the number 2 tailback in the nation, Dante Hickson. He was the number 2 tailback in the nation next to Cedric Benson coming out. And so, I knew it was going to be a war. I had to go battle. And Quentin Griffin being there already, Ronaldo Works being there already. So, you know, it was one of those. I knew what it was up front.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So how did your freshman year go?
It went great. You know, I was, to be honest, you know, I was a little disappointed because I felt like I should have started. I felt like I shouldn't have redshirted. But then as the years went on, I realized why.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I had a great, you know, my first year on campus, I had a great, you know, fall camp. You know, like I joked about it on Facebook the other day, but, you know, people don't realize that I'm a scout team player.
Yeah.
I won against the defensive national champions.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm wired this way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You couldn't come to practice taking some days off because Roy Williams coming on a blitz.
Oh, yeah.
Rocky Kalman's coming on a blitz. You know what I'm saying?
So what was your welcome to OU? Like you talking about it, your scout team practice. Did you have a moment where you was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Like I said, you know, I'm scout team running back, you know, going up against Dusty Dvorak, Tommy Harris, Brandon Everidge, you know, Roy Williams, you know, Dan Cody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Teddy Lehman.
Shit.
You know.
Man, that's on one defense.
That's on one defense, man.
Yeah.
You know, so you know.
How'd you do?
Oh, I held my own.
Yeah.
I held my own, but you know, I knew it was gonna be a battle. But like I said, that's what made me, you know, the player that I was in college, and you know, and because you know it wasn't no letting up.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, and that's against those guys and the guys that I was going against in the meeting room. You know.
Okay, so your sophomore year, do you get to start?
Redshirt freshman year.
Redshirt freshman year, I don't start, but I played a lot.
And who was the starting back?
It was still Quentin Griffin.
Okay.
But they actually, you know, my redshirt freshman year, we put in a package basically just for me.
Gotcha.
You know, it was I was a redshirt freshman. JD Reynolds was a true freshman,
fullback.
so he's
one
my
of the
fullback.
best high school players I've seen.
Right, you know what I'm saying. So him coming in, they realized we got to get those guys on the field. So they had a package for us, jumbo. You know what I'm saying? We came in, everybody knew what time it is. It's north and south running somebody off. You know what I'm saying?
We're coming at you.
Coming
ISO.
ISO. You know,
gap scheme.
Yeah, man for man. Let's go.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? So
So JD really meant a lot for you his freshman year, your redshirt freshman year.
yes, he led the way. I mean, he's the reason. I mean, basically him performing the way he did and me doing my part is the reason why we both got on the field.
Gotcha. I got you. Okay. So your junior year, your
redshirt sophomore year
is what AD count?
No, AD came that next year, so I did end up starting. I started halfway that year.
Okay.
Yeah, my first start was against Alabama on the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How'd you do?
Yeah, I did pretty good. I actually had I think about 70 yards rushing.
Okay.
You know, we was ranked number 1 in the nation at that time.
Okay.
Too.
And we're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, we're gonna talk about when AD come and if you knew he was special at the time.
Okay.
So back at the McLean Barbershop, Talk of the Town 918. We're gonna take a quick break, but make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got my guy we've been knowing but 30 years, about 25 years. Kejuan Jones, one of the best football players to ever come through the state of Oklahoma.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines. Because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
This episode is brought to you by the Smith Family Agency. It's simple. They make sure you have the right insurance coverage on your home, auto, or business. They also have the best prices for insurance in Oklahoma. Call my guy Brian Smith with questions, and he will give you a quick quote. We trust him to always do the right thing for you and your family. Call Smith Family Agency at 918-417-7400 and tell them the Bubby sent you.
All right, we're back from break at the McLean Barbershop, and once again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Talk of the Town, the 918 edition. All right, so when AD, for everybody, it's Adrian Peterson. When AD steps on campus, how was it?
Man, I'll be honest with you, you know, looking at him, off the top, you're like, dang, that's a running back. You know what I'm saying? You know, so
you didn't know like how special he was.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard about him. I actually, the first time I heard about him was we played in the national championship game in New Orleans. So it was I didn't hear about him until after that game.
Okay.
Because I think that's when he committed.
Oh, okay.
You know, it was after the national championship game. So, but nah, be honest with you, man, when he stepped on campus, you know, he did exactly what you do if you're that guy.
What,
You know what I'm
what
saying?
was that?
I mean, he proved himself. You know what I'm saying?
From day one.
From day one. You know, when it comes to, you know, Smitty's workouts, he smashed them out like we was doing. You know, it wasn't he's a freshman, he can't handle it. He came in and did his thing. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he came in, ran what, like a 10-500, you know, 4-4, 40, you know, and like I say, he's 6'2", 220, you know, man, and, you know, and he could do it. He was the man. You know,
So you knew he was special off of workouts, or it took you until y'all put those pads on?
It was pads, you know. Obviously, you know, I'm not the type of person that's gonna, you know, visually just give it to him, you know, because like I say, I had that, you know, that too, you know what I mean. So he had to show me on the field, you know what I mean, and he did that, you know what I mean. He came in, you know, he toting it, you know what I'm saying. Breaking tackles, outrunning cats, you know, and everything. Like I say, he's outrunning cats that run 4.3s, you know what I'm saying, corners, you know what I'm saying, as a freshman, you know. So you know.
He didn't spend no time with the practice team.
Oh nah. It wasn't. That'd be dumb of me to put a guy like that on you know, that special. I mean, he showed it, like I say, and that's one that I was tell a lot of people, you know, what do you do?
Yeah, sure.
You know, what are you supposed to tell coach? Don't play this guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, and look what, you know. So and it's mutual respect. You know, it wasn't, you know, even AD coming in and doing what he did. You know, he knew that he had to come and get it.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
he ain't had no punks behind him, and wasn't nobody finna give him nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he also knew that he could still learn from us.
Exactly.
And that's the one thing that was good about the guys at OU is that, like I say, kids these days I don't think know how to compete and still be cool.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And at OU you learn that. And I don't know if that's from the Smitty workouts to realize, hey man, we gotta, if we don't all get it, we all coming back and running again.
Exactly.
But so that's kind of how that went. And so yeah, his success, you know, it was no hating by nobody. You know what I'm saying? We love seeing him, you know, break loose on Oklahoma State, you know, get what he did against Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he had some games. You know what I'm saying? And like you say, if you are an athlete and if you're somebody who loves sports, man, you know, you can't hate on that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So.
Yeah, that's a fact. Okay. So how did your college career go, like, after, you know, AD, like, your redshirt junior and your senior, how did that go?
Like I said, just like I tell my son, like right now, you find a way, the players find a way to stay on the field.
That's a fact.
Regardless of who comes in and who's playing, you find a way to stay on the field. So I turned into basically the third down back, you know, because I was pretty good at pass protection. I've been there for a minute, and, you know, but I still got my carries, you know. Sure. But yeah, so that's what I basically turned into is you know, a third down back, you know, screens, catching more passes out of the backfield and stuff like that. And, you know, that's what I told myself, you know, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to still get on the field somehow.
Gotcha.
You know.
Okay, so you played in the Big 12 too. Give me two of the best players that you ever played against or played with. Forget two. Give us five.
I say
even if they all five could have been on your team.
Well, I'm gonna have to go with that because you know, besides Darren Sproles, you know what I'm saying, we played against, you know, me and my buddy T Hill. You know, he obviously went to K-State.
Right.
You know, and we joke about, you know, we gave him that Big 12 championship. That was his senior year, so I knew I had more to give. You know, more to come through. So, but I say Darren Sproles would be one of them. Adrian Peterson, probably one of the best receivers I think to ever come out of OU. Mark Clayton.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, obviously Tommy Harris and Jason White.
Oh, okay.
You know,
and those dudes you played with.
yeah, those guys I played with.
Gotcha.
You know, those my brothers right there.
Yeah, that's a special group.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So did you get a shot at the NFL?
I didn't get a shot at the NFL. I mean, when it comes to like actually playing, but I got, you know, I went free agent to Washington.
Okay.
And then ended up getting picked up on Oakland's practice squad.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. And how many, you were just on it just for that 1 year?
Yeah, on for that 1 year, and basically for that some little couple 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, and then got
you.
cut. So
I got you. Okay. So you had the opportunity to play with, coach Alan Trimble and Bob Stoops. And I want you to do it separate. What did Alan Trimble mean to you, and what type of guy was he? And also Bob Stoops, what kind of coach he was, and how was he to you?
You know, Coach Trimble, you know, he's I can honestly say, man, that's a special person. You know, because coming from where I came from, Obviously I think he knew what he had, but it wasn't just I'm just finna use you for what you can do for me. Coach Trimble actually loved his players, man. You know what I'm saying? And from what he did for me, my mom, I can never repay him and his family for that. Coach Trimble was a special man, and what he's done for the community of Jenks, no one will ever do that, ever. The town of Jenks should be renamed as Coach Trimble. You know what I'm saying? And that's real, man. Because Coach Stoops, obviously me and Coach Stoops had a different relationship because when you're talking about college football, that's a business. You know what I'm saying? So me and Coach Stoops, we had a good relationship, you know what I'm saying? But was it anything like me and Coach Trimble's? No. You know what I'm saying? But Coach Stoops was a mastermind at his game, though. You know what I'm saying? He knew his thing, and the one thing that I did love about Coach Stoops is he had that passion. You know what I'm saying? And he knew what type of players he had, and he didn't fear away from that. He knew he had dogs, and he was going to go in the game like that. And, and he was the type of coach that if you fighting, I'm fighting. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why he was able to relate to a lot of his players. It's because he didn't sugarcoat nothing with you, but he knew what it takes to win, and he knew what type of players he needed to win.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that I could say that I liked about Coach Stoops is that he was a player's coach.
Gotcha.
And we had Dylan Stone on this show, and he went to Jenks too. I'm going to ask you the same question. You had the opportunity to probably play in two of the best rivalries in the nation football-wise. The Backyard Bowl with Jenks and Union, and Bedlam with OU and OSU. How was it playing in those games?
Man, those games are special. Like I say, playing in that Jenks game, Jenks Union game, being, in Oklahoma, just high school sports period, that's one of the best. Everybody knows you, what you do in that game, everybody knows you from.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life, but that Bedlam is something different also. You know what I'm saying? That's because, they know you personally too. You know what I'm saying? I got, I had got, people talking about my high school. Oh, you thought you was this in high school when I'm running the ball for OU, in Stillwater, you know what I'm saying? So, but, that rivalry, it's sad to see, obviously, they're talking about it's about to go away. But, obviously it's about money. But, that rivalry is a tough rivalry. And as a Oklahoma boy, you don't want to lose that game. I'd rather lose to Texas than
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
So, you transferred from Hale to Jenks. What is your take on high school kids transferring? Maybe it's from East Central to Bixby or wherever it's at. What is your take on that?
Well, now, obviously, I was one who moved and, moved to Jenks or whatever. I don't think there's anything wrong with it because, at the end of the day, everybody's looking out for themselves.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So, and you got to do what's best for you and your kids. And if that's making a move to, what they say, the suburbs to get a better education or help your chances on going to college, why not do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like that it's taken away from Tulsa Public.
Yeah, for sure.
But obviously, suburbs are doing something that Tulsa Public's not doing.
Right.
So, and that's what and until Tulsa Public changes that, you, as a parent, you'll be dumb not to take your kids, to the suburbs.
Gotcha. Okay. So my next question is, where do you get your passion from? Like, what's your biggest why? I see you on Facebook, but back when be known, like, where do you get your passion from? Do you think it was from Smitty?
Well, I'd say, honestly, when I first, sports is all about, for me, it's about passion and emotion, and performing, and so when I played, I know I always looked at my family. Gotcha. I always wanted to represent my family, and just, I know when my mom, definitely back in high school, my mom was obviously one of my biggest fans, and I always hear people coming to me, yeah, your mom was bragging about you, stuff like that. So that was a lot of my motivation was, my mom and, my sisters and, just making them proud.
What message, do you have for the youth, from Kejuan Jones that played Division I football, had a little stinking NFL on the practice squad? What message can you give to the youth to motivate them?
You can't settle. Regardless of whatever right now, whatever achievements you got right now, or people telling you this and you're that, you're good, you can't settle because there's always somebody out there that can be better. You know, and nothing's gonna be given to you. You know, you gotta work harder. You know, you gotta do the extra. You gotta go the extra mile. You know, run that extra hill. You know, pull that extra sled. You know, you gotta do something every day. You know, no days off.
Exactly.
You know, and understand that. You know, it takes it all. You can't just do this part. You can't be a good student in the classroom and then decide to be a dummy on the streets.
That's a
you know what I'm saying? You gotta be a leader.
That's
you know.
a fact.
And as we wrap this up, this last question, if you Kejuan Jones can go back in time and change one thing, would you change anything? Whether if it was the move from Hale to Jenks or you would have went to Tennessee, what's one thing that you would change?
The one thing that I would change, just like I've told my son this, is that I would have gave myself a better opportunity to look at other schools to go to. I would have, you know, like I said, I didn't take no trips to Tennessee or to the, you know, I committed to OU, and that's where I was going. So if I was to change anything, I would take my visits and explore my options out there.
But as a parent, that probably was the best thing for you. So now when it's your son and daughter's turn, you know that we're going to look at every available option instead of just shutting off and being stuck to one school.
Exactly. Now that's what I told my son. I was like, yeah, I'm an OU boy, you know, but unless they talking like them other boys is talking, you know, we ain't set in stone, go nowhere.
So we appreciate you, Kewan. Really do. Still here at the McLean Barbershop, Talk of the Town, 918 edition. This is season 2, episode 4 with my guy Kejuan Jones.